Perfect fit.
Hi, I'm Chevy Chase. You know, on my new show, I won't be just sitting at my desk talking to guests. No, sir, not me. I'll be moving around in and out of the audience, bobbing and weaving and all stuff like that. Sorry. That's why I said to Fox, careful, everybody. That's why I told Fox I needed a camera that could not possibly miss the most important shot in this show, my close-up. And this is what the engineers came up with, a $300,000.
Chevy Chase, coming in September to Fox.
Chevy Chase is one of those performers that people seem to either love or hate, with there never being an in-between. I fall on the love side, however. I know he can be an acquired taste, but his performances in films like Christmas Vacation or Fletch showcase his skills as a physical and verbal comedian.
Worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is! Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
And he's also just in some of my favorite films from the 80s. I think he just made some poor career choices coming out of the 1980s that ultimately sidelined his career as a leading man in a way that prevented him from achieving the cult adoration status of someone like Bill Murray. We're here today to talk about one such choice.
Go ahead there, folks! Pick yourself up a couple of dogs!
No, not this one, but I will come back to it at a later date. I promise. Another one of those poor choices was hosting his own late-night talk show, The Chevy Chase Show. Airing on Fox in September of 1993, the show would become one of the biggest late-night blunders of all time, being cancelled less than a month after it aired, when an upwards of over $5 million had already been spent just to get the show on the air. Its inception and failure make for an interesting tale, happening during a time when late-night television was going through its biggest transition. Before I dive deeper, I need to thank all the other YouTubers who have uploaded clips of the show, making this doc possible. I've linked every clip I've used in the description below so you can watch them for yourselves. And with that, this is the story of The Chevy Chase Show.
I bid you a very heartfelt good night.
In 1992, when the king of late night himself, Johnny Carson, bid America a final goodnight, it left a huge void in programming. Fox, who had not been in the late night talk show business since 1986's failed The Late Show with Joan Rivers, viewed this as the perfect opportunity to dominate the market and rushed to develop their own talk show. For some reason, they originally wanted Dolly Parton to host their show, but her manager declined, instead suggesting someone else for the role, Chevy Chase.
Moon River. Whew. Thank you, Doc.
As the 90s began, Chevy's status as a box office comedy king had notably changed. The once young, brash comic was now approaching 50 and struggling to find appeal. 1989 had proved lucrative for him, with the success of films like Fletch Lives and Christmas Vacation. But Nothing But Trouble and Memoirs of an Invisible Man had flopped hard in the early 90s. Looking for a way to mix up his career and stay popular with audiences, Chevy agreed to headline the talk show, and was even paid $3 million up front for signing with Fox. Chevy had big ideas for this show, and wanted it to be reminiscent of the variety shows he grew up watching. Fox, however, had other ideas, wanting it to be a hip new late show that would draw in a younger audience to compete with all the competitors. Fox was so confident in their new star and his show that they had the show's venue, the Aquarius Theater, renovated and renamed to the Chevy Chase Theater, spending an additional $1 million on the overhaul.
It is now the Chevy Chase Theater.
Fox also made the huge mistake of scheduling the show to air at 11 p.m., but this actually put the show in direct competition with the evening news broadcasts, so it failed to find decent ratings right out of the gate. And not only that, Letterman's new The Late Show, which was heavily publicized, premiered on CBS just a week prior, and was already dominating the ratings in the 11:35 slot. But Fox kept pumping millions into advertising the show, assuring their advertising partners that it would draw in big numbers. The collective miscommunication on what the show was supposed to be was already leading to confusion. I can't think of a better way to showcase this than to show you actual clips from the show's first episode. The show begins with a somewhat creative stop-motion intro of Chevy Chase running around different LA landmarks to gather the letters for his show's sign. I actually kind of like the opening, and the stop-motion is really well done for the time.
The orchestra.
From here, Chevy enters, and he tries to shoot a basketball. He misses twice though, so they have to do this awkward cut to a clearly inserted close-up shot of the ball making it in. I don't know. Chevy then moves into his monologue, and it's clear he's uncomfortable the entire time.
You know, boy, I'm so excited. A lot of people wondered why I wanted to do my own TV show, and I confess I'm one of them. But I think the moment I knew I wanted to get back on TV was the day my daughters tied me up and made me watch Oh Heavenly Dog twice.
This format just really doesn't work well with his delivery. He's much better suited to the sarcastic Weekend Update style of monologuing. We then cut to a pre-taped bit where Chevy falls into a pool of cement while trying to stick his hands in it.
Should have been thicker. I'll tell you, this has never happened before.
Yeah, and who dug the hole? That's a brand new suit. Oh, man. Was I in the wrong place or what?
It's a fun little bit that at least gives Chevy something to do that he's genuinely good at, physical comedy. After the break, Chevy re-enters the stage and introduces a video bit that boggles the human mind.
I was blue and I was always wearing a brown because my gal had turned me down. Then we met and you bet I knew from the first you were my love, cause that's when the old gray cloud burst.
I guess this bit is supposed to be an homage to an old Ernie Kovacs bit, but just something about it is really creepy and it doesn't land at all.
Satisfied till you play, here comes the bride. Could you tell me really sorry right now? That's probably got a kind of works on me, it moved me.
Back at Chevy's desk, he introduces his first guest, Goldie Hawn. Now while we're here, let's just talk about the interview set for a minute. When the guest would sit down, the set would for some reason wrap around them, closing off the entire interview set. This area is also adorned with toys and other props, and features a fish tank on the wall. Yes, you heard right. Behind the desk, there was an actual fish tank with live fish in it. Rumor has it that this fish tank was a constant problem maintaining during production, with the fish inside constantly dying. After some standard talk show banter, Goldie Hawn decides to sing a song to Chevy, and there's something about this whole sequence that's just mildly uncomfortable.
How could I ever find words to say the way that it makes me happy? No matter the time of day, I'll find in your book what I find when I look at that
It's then announced that it's Goldie Hawn's son's birthday, who just so happens to be in the audience. So Chevy brings out a giant layer cake and throws it on the floor. But then he has another one brought out, just so Goldie Hawn's son can sit there with it sitting on his lap for the rest of the show. I don't know. Watching this show is like watching your parents try to be cool with your high school friends when you're growing up, only here it's more uncomfortable. After the ad break, Chevy returns to form, doing a news desk segment. Obviously, they couldn't use the Weekend Update title, so here it's called News Update. And honestly, Chevy does a lot better here. He's more relaxed and his delivery works better in this format. This is what the opening monologue should have been. It would have been a lot like what Seth Meyers is doing today, after realizing he was better suited for this format as well. With only minutes left, Whoopi Goldberg comes out as the next guest and gives Chevy a pair of high heel shoes.
Oh, how sweet of you.
Yes, I thought you'd like them.
size?
They might be a little tight on you, but these are the shoes I danced in in the opening of my show, and I wanted to give you a good luck present. Of course, my show didn't do all that well, but this is my heart.
Okay, hold on a minute. So let me get this straight. Whoopi Goldberg gave Chevy Chase the shoes that she wore on her own failed late-night talk show for good luck? I'm sure this is just a joke, and Chevy will respond in a very fun and sarcastic way. Right?
Your show did very well.
Well, at least the show ends there. It's crazy to think that this was just episode 1. It crammed way too much into this first episode. It immediately baffled audiences with its strange production choices, and numbers continued to drop. I wish I could say things got less weird, but they didn't. Like this cold open, where Dan Ackroyd slices up Chevy's face.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's all right. You gotta kind of expect. Let me get a.
I tell you what the problem is.
Kleenex here.
Yeah, right. Just give me some Kleenex so I can hold it against.
Oh,
those.
sorry. This had a beard on it.
Oh, that's it.
Wait a minute. That's all right.
It's just I can get this later. Some stick with that.
Get up into the cheeks near the
All right,
eyes.
go ahead. Take it easy. Easy. Yeah. It's a little sharp.
And then in the same episode, his second guest is the undisputed bubble-blowing champion of the world, and this sequence happens.
You need more of a pucker there, and you gotta get the gum up toward the front of your mouth right
Yeah.
there and get it a real tight pucker there.
You know,
Here we go.
can I just take a quick look into your mouth?
Go ahead.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, yeah, we can
Thought something was
I
going
also
on.
get a lifetime dental care plan free, too.
You do?
As long as I remain the world champion, I get the lifetime supply of bubble gum free, too.
Oh, that's great. Now blow us a winner. I'm going to measure it.
And then him and Dan Ackroyd play with some rubber bands. All these strange choices just didn't help the show find an audience. And by week 3, the ratings hit an all-time low. The show was cancelled on October 17th, just over a month after airing, with only 29 episodes produced. The Chevy Chase Theater was promptly renamed, and any traces of the set were destroyed. Although it was supposed to help its star connect with younger audiences, it did the opposite, bringing Chevy more box office failure as he tried to reinvent himself as a family comedian. Though it's largely forgotten by today's standards, I think this show is a great lesson in showing what it takes to make a late-night talk show work. It's not just about having a charismatic lead and a big-budget set. It's about connecting with the audience and becoming a part of their daily lives. The Chevy Chase Show was never able to connect with its audience simply because the network couldn't decide what they wanted it to be. They wanted it to be hip and cool, but also a throwback to the old variety shows. It was a matchup that just didn't work. I honestly would love to see Chevy Chase in more movies today. His small cameo in the Vacation reboot really made me yearn to see Clark Griswold leading his family on another crazy adventure again. I think Chevy is a talented performer, and he's learned a lot from his mistakes. Although I think he's burned plenty of bridges in his time, and made some ill-advised career decisions, I hope we see more of him in the future. He has given me some of my favorite film performances, and been in some of my favorite films. And that alone is worth redemption.